They soft as hell. Man, I found myself this year trying to talk to some of these young dudes that won't talk. And they like trying to be a friend.
Yeah.
But that's what these young dudes do nowadays, man. I don't understand it.
Joined now by Fox NBA analyst Ric Bucher, but I see it. I can't tell it's coming. Do you have a problem with Draymond Green calling today's young players soft?
Bruh, Draymond Green got louder when his game got quiet.
Ooh.
Like, the more quiet his game got, the louder Draymond got. And let's not disrespect Draymond Green. He's accomplished a ton in his career. But here's my issue, big dog. Across all sports, just because you talk noise don't make you hard. And just because you don't talk noise don't make you soft. Sometimes the cats that be the most quiet be the ones you really got to worry about. You don't matter what sport. Draymond, you don't even have to search far and wide. Steph Curry, the reason that Draymond, you are as relevant as you are, if relevant at all, what's the hardest thing he's ever done? Thrown his mouthpiece to the score table? Shimmy in front of an opponent? What's the hardest thing Klay ever done? Klay Thompson don't really talk trash. Klay Thompson don't really talk, at least not publicly. So just because you talk trash don't make you hard, and just because you don't talk trash don't make you soft. My real issue is this, like, Draymond got to remember and just put everything in context, big dog, because pride comes before the fall. Remember Steph and Klay, they the real reason Draymond is relevant. Let's be real. Draymond, without Steph and Klay, his career is very comparable to Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah was a dog in his own right. They both got one Defensive Player of the Year. Both made a couple All-Star teams. Draymond's 3, Joakim Noah was 2. Both were all-defensive team. Joakim Noah was 3, Draymond 5. But, like, Draymond, the reason you're even that relevant is because of 2 dudes, Steph and Klay, who don't even talk. So by your metric, by your value system of being hard, Steph and Klay soft. But Steph and Klay made you, you. So that's my real issue. That's my real problem with everything Draymond said. Damn.
All good points, and I agree with all of that, or almost all of that, but I'm going to go in a different direction because I don't have a problem with Draymond Green saying that today's players are soft, because they are. The game today is soft. But it's a little bit like I would point out that Acho is not wearing a jacket today and showing off his guns. That's obvious. Everybody sees it. The question is, why is the league soft? Why is Acho showing off his guns? Now you're giving me something. And the problem is that if Draymond were honest about why the game is soft, he would point out that it's the 2 most powerful entities involved in the league. And that is the NBA and the way they legislate, and LeBron James, his business partner and who I would assume former adversary and now friend, which means that Draymond Green himself is a contributing factor to the softness of the game today. There was once upon a time, this is the same Draymond Green who back in the 2017 finals was taking a swing at LeBron James' sensitive parts because they were in full competition. Ultimately cost him a suspension and some people would suggest a title. They're now business partners. They now share the same agent. They are certainly not the same adversaries that they once were. He and Kevin Durant are playing together, but they're boys on a podcast chopping it up. Yes, former teammates. But Draymond Green himself is demonstrating why the league is soft and why these players are soft. They've been conditioned to be soft, both by the way the league officiates and by the way LeBron James is recruiting every adversary that he could possibly have to play with him. For all the success that LeBron James has had, if I'm a young player, I'd say, well, I should do the same thing. It's worked for him.
Damn. Love all of this, and I got to pour on some gravy on these mashed potatoes that we over here cooking up right now because Draymond, man, dog, you in the NBA. People ain't there for all that smoke that you want. It's crazy that Draymond thinks that. So Draymond says he's talking trash to everybody, and they don't respond now. You know why they don't respond? because they don't respect who's saying it. Dog, if people don't talk back to you, doesn't mean they weak. Maybe they just don't want to hear it from you because you can't get under their skin because they like, you can't get the ball in the hoop. Like, it's crazy if you look at the top players in NBA history and the real G's move in silence like lasagna. I don't see the most gangster of players when I look at Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kareem. Now I see different elements of mental toughness, but hard versus soft? Like, what are you using as your measurements, Draymond? It's crazy. So it just takes me back to examples like growing up. You imagine, just as Draymond. Draymond comes home from school, first day of school, and talking to his parents. They're like, so how was school, son? He's like, man, it was whack. I didn't like it. Why? Man, I went to class, everybody was focused and studying and trying to pay attention and answer questions. Like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to be doing. What the hell are you doing there? Oh, man, I'm over here trying to get under people's skin, barking at them. They ain't barking back. Like, Draymond, no one is there in the NBA for all that. No one signed up at the NBA draft said, yeah, I'm looking to be the hard guy. And it's funny because in natural selection of all sports, the hard guys are the softest one in terms of talent. The hardest ones are not the ones that can go out there and do it all and let their game speak for yourself. Why act tough when I'm about to shoot your lights out? Facts. You got to act tough when you ain't going to shoot your lights out. You actually going to act like you're going to shoot me. And I'm like, dog, we just here for some basketball. In my world, we just here to play some football. So it's pretty see-through when I see Draymond trying to be the tough guy. You know, growing up, I saw so many bullies, and I never got punked unless they had a weapon. I did 2 times, got jacked. But other than that, I used to laugh at them when they used to come up and be real tough on the offensive. You know why? Because I knew they were just trying to flee that pain they had in their heart. They wasn't really hard. They weren't really tough. They was just somebody who was trying some pain. Draymond, you know what your hardships and pain is? That the game is passing you by, and you can't get it. So now you're going to try and bark it. Good luck with that.
Hit a thing, Sal. You hitting the nail on the head, big dog.
Oh,
like you would say me some of the ribs.
Say me some of the ribs.
Say me some of typically, you only got to act hard at times if you're trying to overcompensate for something.
Yes, sir.
Like if you're trying to overcompensate for an issue, well, now you got to act hard because your game not talking. Draymond used to average 14, 10, and 8, y'all, just about 4 years ago. And now he averages 6, 6, and 7. And so Draymond is looking around like, hey, I have to find a way to continue to stay relevant. But the other thing is, like, Slick, you brought up a point several minutes ago that the game has gotten soft. And like, the game was never meant to be hard. The game was meant to be entertaining. The game was meant to be talent-ridden. But, like, the game wasn't inherently successful because it was hard. Like, maybe you could argue football, right? Like, now that you can't just jack people up anymore, going across the middle blindside guys. But, like, that was never the objective of the sport. The objective of basketball, the objective of even football wasn't just to go around just trying to be the hardest you can be. The objective was to score points and to entertain. So even if the game of basketball has gotten soft, if you will, what are they losing? I submit nothing at all.
Well, this is where it gets muddled because he's talking about, trash talk with guys as a reflection of being soft or hard, and we're talking about the physicality of the game. I would say that the game has gotten soft on both ends. The NBA has snuffed the competitive spirit or players' ability to be emotional and to talk a little trash and to have those exchanges, which I think is an important element of the game. But that has been legislated ultimately out of it. And I do, look, we're stepping all over Draymond. And you said that he wouldn't be relevant without Steph or Clay. Look, I got to give him his flowers. He was an important part of making Steph and Clay what they are, too, because he was the defensive backbone of those teams. Fair. And his being a vocal leader was important because those guys were not. And he backed it up with his play. So we got to acknowledge that he was an important, vital part of those championships. The problem is that he's equating this talking trash now with ultimately being fierce on the floor. And I had to bring a full screen in here because this is Draymond Green's track record when it comes to technical fouls as far as where the league is. Now, look at this list. Number 1, for the last 5 years, Draymond Green has been in the top 6. This is not an outlier. This is basically where he's resided. But look at all the names on that list. 1, they all play physical. 2, They're not shy about speaking their minds on the floor. Luka Doncic may be the youngest guy on there, but he's got an old school type game and he plays physical. But there's no equation between this and success. I mean, Draymond Green's not having success because he's getting technicals. Dwight Howard's not playing better this year with Philadelphia because he's leading the league in tees. John Wall, Russell Westbrook, I can go down the line. All of these guys, Draymond Green included, because of the way the league calls the game, are being penalized for being vocal and for talking trash and for being outwardly emotional. So Draymond literally cost the Warriors a game.